Myanmar and welcome to Myanmar Today. I am Henry Zin with the latest news and reports from around Myanmar. David Tanner brings us a first report on the Thit Pote Tree inside the Yangon University that has been commemorated with the 32nd blue plaque. Williamson's coverage on a celebration of 54th Defence Day of Pakistan. Argajo has the story on high demand for auto spare parts. Williamson's bringing us another report on overland expedition from Singapore to London. Before we get to the reports, let's take a look at the local news. Union Minister for Commerce Dr. Tham Mien arrived back in Yangon after attending the 88th Izmir International Trade Fair held in Izmir, Turkey. He attended Izmir Business Days in Izmir last Friday, and on the same day, the Union Minister met with Izmir Chamber of Commerce, Aegean Chamber of Industry and Aegean Exporters Association and discussed collaboration of private sector, trade and investment between the two countries. The Union Minister then attended the China-Turkey Trade and Investment Cooperation Forum on Saturday. He also separately met with Chairman of Turkey-China Business Development and Support Association and the members and Turkish Minister of Trade, Rusa Pekan, where they discussed promoting Myanmar-Turkey-China trade and collaboration between the two countries in the matters of commerce promotion. Artists from movies, music and the bin were introduced on Sunday with Myanmar Unicode migration process, which has been scheduled to fully implement on the 1st of October this year. The promotion ceremony was held at the conference hall of MICT Park in Lion Township, Yangon. Chairman of the Computer Technology Development Council and Union Minister for Transport and Communications U Tan Zimao made an opening remark at the ceremony. The Union Minister explained the full migration of Myanmar Unicode commencing 1st of October with the aims for developing an e-government system and for creating a common system at the government organizations, the private sector and the departments in sharing information to the public. He also assured the Myanmar Unicode will help in exchanging information and technologies with international communities as it involves the international font system. The Union Minister requested all artists to convey messages about the advantages of Myanmar Unicode migration to the public. Deputy Minister for Information Uwang Latun visited photolitho printing press in Bahan Township on Saturday and inspected the press machines, printing and binding of basic education textbooks, printing of vote envelopes for 2020 general election, use of newly installed CTP plate-making machine, and storage of paper rolls. The Deputy Minister met with officials in the press meeting hall and remarked on printing quality school textbooks, distributing to the students on time, special care to be taken toward natural disasters, other difficulties, and to be security conscious, retaining proper records in works, follow prevailing laws and rules, systematically prepare printing works required for 2020 general election. Thereafter, the Deputy Minister met with the Global New Light of Myanmar editorial team and remarked on ensuring quality in all aspects, accuracy and flawless reports, and follow media ethics like all other media as it is the only English newspaper reflecting the government's viewpoints, and encouraged the editorial team to openly discuss work requirements. That's all with the local news, and we shall dive right into our first report. Last Friday, the Thit Pote Tree inside the Yangon University has been commemorated by installing the 32nd blue plaque. The event was held just in front of the Thit Pote Tree and has been organized by the Yangon Heritage Trust. The event has been attended by the Chief Minister of Yangon Region, U Pyo Min Thein, and other invited guests. This is the first time that the natural heritage of Yangon has been commemorated. We'll hear more from David Tanner.
The Thit Pote Tree, located inside the Yangon University, is about a century-old leaf-falling tree. Its botanical scientific name is Tetramiles nudiflora. Even if this Thit Pote Tree is one of the most famous among all the Thit Pote trees in Yangon, it is very difficult to get an exact measurement for its age. But we have a fact, for it is older than the Yangon University itself, which was established since 1920, which is going to be having its centennial anniversary soon next year. With that being said, let's hear out a speech given by Chief Minister of Yangon Region, U Phyo Min Thain himself.
Thit Pote Tree, together with the Convocation Hall adjacent, a Deputy Street, Inya Lake, and Gangor Forest, are one of the most significant, famous, and symbolic features of the Yangon University. It has welcomed a lot of students, teachers, and have created a lot of memories, poems, songs, and art along with the university itself. As the university itself is the heritage, which will be 100 years old soon, we should be remembering all of these features as of it is now. We've also been doing research and preparation together with the Minister for Education to repair, renovate, or improve the heritage sites inside the university before its centennial anniversary as well. Moreover, to improve the overall quality of the university as much as we can.
In the event, U Phyo Min Thain also shared the purpose of the Blue Plaque and his belief in taking care of the heritages and passing on the next generation as well. Let's find out.
As with the purpose to take care and aware all the heritage buildings, natural heritages of the university, for not only now but also to pass the duty on to the future youth, we install the blue plates. Well, for today, the Thit Pote Tree has been installed the blue plaque, meaning it's the heritage that we have to protect, respect, and pass on the duty of taking care to the next generations and create more memories. Welcome more students. Be a shelter and a shade for people who are in need in the area.
In the event, I've also interviewed U Ture Ang, who is the program officer of Yangon Heritage Trust, YHT, for the purpose of the event.
So this is the 32nd blue plaque that we installed in Yangon, and this is the first time that we commemorated the natural heritage of Yangon actually. And so previously we installed blue plaque at buildings and site, but this is the first time that we install at a tree, and also this is the first time that we commemorate the natural heritage which are abandoned in Yangon as well.
Why Thit Pote Tree for the blue plaque? This question will also be answered.
Because Thit Pote is one of the main icons of Yangon University. This tree has been here before the university started in 1920. We don't know exactly how old it is, but it can be estimated that over 100 years old. It may be 150 years old, 200 years old, nobody knows. But for sure, this is the over 100 years old trees, because when the university started, this tree was already quite big. And also this has been a major symbol of university. It has been featured in many poems and literatures about the university. And so it has already endured a difficult period in its life. Notably in 2008, when a very devastating cyclone passes through Yangon, and the tree withstand all the devastating force. So all these make these trees very valuable and also to be commemorated, so that we install a blue plaque at this tree.
Reporter David Tanner reporting from Myanmar International Radio, signing out for now.
That's a report on the Thit Pote Tree inside the Yangon University that has been commemorated with the 32nd blue plaque. Stay with us. Williamson brings us a second report, and then we'll take a look at the stocks and currency exchange rates right after that. To commemorate the 54th Defense Day of Pakistan, the Embassy of Pakistan celebrated the Defense Day last Friday at the Chatrium Hotel in Yangon. The celebration aimed to honor and remember the sacrifices which the brave soldiers contributed in protecting and defending the nation. Colonel Muhammad Umar Khalid, defense attaché for the Embassy of Pakistan, said Myanmar and Pakistan share a strong bond of trust and that Pakistan looks forward to expand the trust between the two nations. Williamson tells us more.
The Embassy of Pakistan in Yangon celebrated the 54th Defense Day of Pakistan on 6th of September at Chatriam Hotel to honor the soldiers who performed their duties with valor and defended the country. It's also celebrated in the memory of martyrs who sacrificed their lives for the defense of the country. This day is also celebrated yet for telling the native of Pakistan that how the people were brave at the critical time and were proud of offering the sacrifices of their lives for the defense of Pakistan. Speaking at the event, now let's hear from Colonel Mohammed Umar Khalid, Defense Attaché of the Embassy of Pakistan.
We celebrate Defense Day as thanksgiving to those brave sons of soil who fought, depleted in every sense of word and against imposing odds to keep the flag aloft. It is due to their sacrifices that today we have a state where democratic norms can flourish and rule of law can prevail, and where compassion characterizes the bonds between the state and its citizens.
This is more of an armed forces day for Pakistan, in which in a war we were able to defend our frontiers against a much bigger enemy, and we did that repeatedly. This is not just a day to reiterate our resolve to defend our country, but this is also a day on which we commemorate our martyrs, the people who sacrificed their lives for Pakistan. And this year we are also celebrating it as a Kashmir Solidarity Day. As you know, that the region, we have fought all the wars over the one issue alone. And again, the things are extremely volatile in that region. And we worry that the escalation of the events, the way it's happening, it can end up into something more unfortunate than where it is at right now. So this year we have three themes: the defense of Pakistan, the martyrs of Pakistan, and the Kashmir Solidarity.
Colonel Mohammed Umar Khalid also stated that the government of Myanmar and Tamil share a strong bond of trust and mutual respect for the special role both the organizations have in mitigating the challenges faced by the two nations. The presence of high dignitaries at the event underscored the fact that how important the bilateral relation among the two nations. Speaking on the important role that Myanmar plays for Pakistan, Colonel Mohammed Umar Khalid also said,
militarily, we are very close to each other. Because we share the same kind of challenges that both the countries have, and we share the same kind of vision that Myanmar military has. So that's why we have always had very warm relationship as far as the military is concerned. Economically, we are improving a lot. In 2016, our volume of trade was only $4 million. This year, it has crossed $150 million. The mutual trade between the two countries. So we are improving, and we are on a very healthy upward trajectory. So not just militarily, I think it's now getting into the other fields also. So things are looking up as far as our relationship is concerned.
This is Williamson reporting for MI Radio.
That's a report on the celebration of 54th Defense Day of Pakistan. Let's take a look at the currency rates from Myanmar's central bank. $1 is at 1,548 kyats. 1 Chinese renminbi is at 217 kyats. 1 euro is at 1,708 kyats. 1 pound sterling is at 1,904 kyats. 1 Singapore dollar is at 1,119 kyats. 1 Malaysian ringgit is at 370 kyats. 1 Thai baht is at 50 kyats, and the Indian rupee is at 21 kyats. Gold is trading at $1,510. Silver is at $18, and Brent crude oil is at $56. On the Yangon Stock Exchange, FMI remains at 12,000. MTSH went up 100 at 4,400. MCB remains at 8,400. FPB remains at 24,500. TMH dropped 100 at 3,000. You're with MI Radio's Myanmar Today. You can go to our website at miradio.com.mm and listen to our radio programs live on the website. If you're on FM, catch us on 96.1 FM in Yangon, 96.5 in Mandalay, and 96.7 in Naypyidaw. Or you can simply download MI Radio app on both iOS and Android devices so you can listen to our radio programs on the go very conveniently. Alright, let's move on to the next report. The 7th edition of Myanmar Auto 2019 took place at Myanmar Expo Hall. Myanmar International Auto Parts, Accessories, Service and Repair Equipment Exhibition serves as a platform for exhibitors from ASEAN to showcase the latest products to Myanmar's automotive, aftermarket and commercial transport sectors. Hosted by Myanmar Automobile Manufacturers and Distributors Association, co-located with Myanmar Bus and Truck 2019 and Myan Bike 2019, the exhibition ran from Friday to Sunday. For more on the auto spare parts demand and the highlight of the exhibition, Agajo has the details.
Chairman of Myanmar Automobile Manufacturers and Distributors Association, MEMDA, commented that Myanmar's demand for automobile spare parts is high as 90% of the cars are used ones. He made this comment at the 7th edition of Myanmar Auto 2019 at Myanmar Expo Hall on Friday. Myanmar International Auto Parts Accessories, Service and Repair Equipment Exhibition served as a platform for exhibitors from ASEAN to showcase the latest products to Myanmar's automotive, aftermarket, and commercial transport sectors. Hosted by Myanmar Automobile Manufacturers and Distributor Association and co-located with Myanmar Bus and Truck 2019 and Myan Bike 2019, the exhibition ran from 6th to 8th of September. For more on the auto spare parts demand, Dr. Soton, chairman of Myanmar Automobile Manufacturers and Distributors Association, explained.
Over 90% of the automobiles in our country are used ones. The cars are old since the time they are imported, and in some places, the roads are not in good condition. So, for these reasons, the demand for the car spare parts is pretty high. This expo brings together car spare parts companies from across the ASEAN region, and so it's beneficial for the consumers in Myanmar. There are about 100 exhibitors showcasing the quality spare parts.
New auto spare parts are imported largely from China and Thailand, while the reconditioned ones are from Japan and Malaysia. He added that the importation and sale of quality spare parts will be beneficial for the country with high demand in auto spare parts. Myanmar's Ministry of Industry launched a new automotive policy in May designed to heavily benefit the country's automotive sector. The new policy promotes the usage of the left-hand vehicles for road safety purposes, while control measures on imports of the used right-hand drive vehicles will be implemented. The number one heavy industrial enterprise under the Ministry of Industry commented that the new policy is expected to drive further growth of up to 4% in the domestic manufacturing and auto-related businesses. This includes businesses along the supply chain, such as machinery and parts manufacturing, supply of raw materials, after-sales service, parts distribution, and insurance and finance services providers. The expo drew thousands of attendees comprising of decision-makers, dealers, workshop owners, and auto enthusiasts. This year's highlight features the Myanmar Auto Top Mechanic Challenge, a competition for automotive mechanics to gather and compete, testing their skills among the best in the automotive repair and servicing industry. Jolwin, Director of Skills Development Division, explained more on the competition.
The top 3 mechanics from this competition will be sent to ASEAN level competition in 2020. We are having competition for the youth mechanics age under 21, and the top ones will be going for the competition in 2020 September. The similar competition has been held in Mandalay as well, and the competition comes to Yangon. After these two, we will be having the national level combining the two, and the top mechanics from this national level will be brought to ASEAN level. 13 groups comprising 2 mechanics in each group participate in Yangon, so the totals is 26. In Mandalay, 30 groups joined, and so it's 60 participants.
He added that skilled labor has become crucial as the region is approaching Industrial 4.0. Another thing is that as Myanmar is one of ASEAN countries, the country is to encounter free flow of skilled labor soon. So it's important that people have the respective certificates for the respective industries so that they can compete well in this free flow of skilled labor among the region. This is Agajo reporting for Myanmar International Radio.
That's a report on high demand for auto spare parts. Well, here's our last report on the overland expedition from Singapore to London. The last overland from Singapore to London, which began setting off from Singapore on the 25th of August, arrived in Yangon on Sunday and met with enthusiastic fans. This overland expedition is also a recreation of the first overland expedition, which was done in 1955. The first expedition was done driving from London to Singapore on land, and this last overland will be done in reverse, starting from Singapore to London, and aims to complete the expedition within 100 days of its commencement. Williamson has the full story. Take it away.
The Last Overland, which is recreating one of the 20th century's most iconic and challenging road journeys, the very first expedition by 1955 Oxford Series 1 Land Rover from London to Singapore, has arrived in Yangon 11 days after flying off in Singapore on 25th of August 2019. Upon entering Myanmar from neighboring Thailand, the Last Overland team made its way through beautiful ancient cities of Myanmar such as Molomyai, Pa'an, and Bago, before arriving in Yangon while meeting the most enthusiastic Land Rover fans in the country. Speaking to the media, Mr. Alex Bascoby, a member of the expedition, said,
Yeah, well, I think it's special for 2 reasons. One is because they were the first in history to ever do it. Everyone told them it was impossible, and many people had tried, but they'd never managed to cross Myanmar. So this car was the first car to cross through the north of Myanmar on Lido land, on the Lido Road. So that's why it's so important, and we are recreating that in the modern day to celebrate a wonderful old vehicle and the spirit of adventure.
Between 1955 and 1956, a team of 6 men embarked on Oxford and Cambridge Far Eastern expedition and make history by being the first so successfully drive the 10,000 miles from London to Singapore. The young group inspired generations of adventurers through their extraordinary endeavor, showing many remote corners of the world on films for the first time. Now, 64 years later, the team of 8 includes Alex Bascoby, award-winning filmmaker and co-founder of Glamour Productions, and Ned George, the grandson of Tim Slater, a member of the first Overland. This time, they will make the journey in reverse from Singapore to London. As before, they will travel across 3 continents, through the jungles of Malaysia and Myanmar, the mountains of Himalayas, the northern Turkey, and the deserts of the Middle East, as well as over 20 countries including Nepal, China, Uzbekistan, Iran, and Bulgaria. The aim is to arrive in London within approximately 100 days of starting off from Singapore. Speaking on what may be some of the major challenges during the expedition, Mr. Alex also said,
Well, I think there's two things that can go wrong: human failure and car failure. It's a very hard journey. It's 100 days of driving, moving all the time through many, many different countries. So everybody's a little bit tired already, and we're all 11 days in. And then obviously the old car. So far, she's been brilliant. No problems. A couple of little problems, but no major problems. But I think when we get to Tibet, it's one of the highest roads in the world, and this car may struggle to drive without enough oxygen.
For several members of the team, the crossing of Myanmar is an emotional homecoming. Alex, Marcus, Leo, and David all met while living and working in Myanmar for many years, and the idea for the Last Overland was sparked by shared passions for exploring this incredible journey. Departing on 7 September, Oxford and the Last Overland team will continue their journey to the border through the hilly border regions of Chin State. Speaking on his feeling for the expedition, Mr. Alex also said,
I still can't believe it's true. When I arrive in London, I will believe it's true. So far, we've travelled for 11 days, almost 2,000 miles. It's been an extraordinary journey so far. I'm delighted to be here in Myanmar. Myanmar is my second home. So right now I'm going to enjoy Myanmar and then think about India next.
This is Williamson reporting for MI Radio.
That's all the reports we have for today. Next, we go to China with China-US trade war and some unrests in Hong Kong. In the latest interview with CGTN, Sean Roche, the Asia-Pacific chief economist of Standard & Poor's Global Ratings, says the tariff hikes' direct impact on China's growth so far has been very limited and manageable. Let's take a closer look.
S&P Ratings has kept its forecast that China's growth could withstand challenges from the trade war, and that policymakers are rebalancing the economy to achieve high-quality growth.
The trade effects are not that large in the short term. So we know, for example, that exports to the US account for less than 3.5% of China's GDP, so it's not going to be enough to change growth that much. We are perhaps a little concerned that productivity growth is slowing in China. There is a need to make sure that productivity growth continues to support the overall economy, and that will mean more reform. It'll mean a bit more opening up in some sectors, but it'll also mean reform of those service sectors that are contributing so much more to China's growth at the moment.
But they caution that longer-term consequences for global supply chains are growing.
For example, technology products. China is tremendously competitive. It's a very efficient place to do business, and that's reflected in the fact that China's export market share in many high value-added technology products is high. So if firms want to relocate some of those supply chains from China to other economies, it's going to be costly.
As for the trade war's impact on Chinese companies, S&P also called it small and manageable.
Most of our rated issuers could absorb the tariff hike. SOEs are predominantly in sectors with limited direct U.S. exposure, such as commodities, utilities, infrastructure, and transport, while the property sector relies on domestic demand. And those companies who rely more on export already showed their capacity to handle the external risks by enhancing their management, better manage their spending.
Lee said even though many are concerned about the volatility of the RMB exchange rate, Chinese companies are now well experienced in tackling the challenges that came with China's gradual currency reform since 2015. Michelle Vandenberg, CGTN.
Well, that's all we have on Myanmar Today. Catch the show on MITV every evening, Monday to Friday at 8:30. You can also join me on MI Radio from 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m., 1 to 1:30 p.m., and from 7:30 to 8 in the evening. Don't forget to drop your comments and messages on our Facebook posts. We'll be back with more news and reports. Thank you for joining us. I am Henry Zin. Have a great day, everyone.